We're chipping again. And I figured we'd make another video. We got some tops over here that are a little nasty. They're not bad. Oh, see, it tried to get me. Oh boy, what a day. It's been a good day. Finally. So, I get all kinds of questions. And a lot of them are really good. Yeah, see, that one don't want to quite go in there. I'll get it through there, baby. So, I get a lot of really good questions every day, and I try to keep up on them. Come on. Come on. Come on. Oh, yeah. This chipper's just chipping something fantastic. I mean, fantastic. Nasty, crooked. Pop the tree. Got the top cut out of it. Got the logs cut out of it. You got a chunk. Come on, baby, come on. Wait for it. Wait for it. Oh yeah, there she goes. Oh, that one's going to push it right through. I'll give that one there, and that one will push it right through. And see how that works? If you can get it to work the way you want to. Throw this one in there. We'll slip this one in there, baby. Okay. Let's go back to work over here. We got some crooked, curly, punky. Oh, look at the top on this one. Oh, mercy. I think we can get her through there, though. I think we can. I think we can. I know we can. Some of these aspen are just straight poles, and some of them are just crooked and all together. You gotta talk to the chipper. You gotta always be talking to her. She likes you to talk to her. So here you go. We'll get that crooked piece right through there. See, she's gonna want to kick way over here. And then we'll get her in there. And we'll force her over here like this. Come on, come on. Come on. Okay, hold on now, hold on. We'll get you. We'll work with you. There she goes. Uh-oh, there we go. We got that. Oh, mercy. Oh, no, we didn't. And there she goes. There she goes. So the crooked ones are a little bit more difficult for the nice straight poles. Straight tops ain't bad. Crooked ones aren't any fun. Easy, John. It's like your first day. Come on. Yeah, buddy. The old chipper's just as smooth. The chain in it is just right. The knives are just right. The chips look just fantastic. Everything is just clicking right now. I mean, just look at it. Our chipper's just rocking and rolling. It's awesome. Loving it. Loving it. There might be a good log down in there. Come on, John. Come on, John. A good log down in there. We'll save. Let's see if it might be two of them. This one right here. After you run this thing for a while, after you work in the woods for a while, you can tell a funky tree from a clean tree. And what makes good logs and what doesn't. So this one right here ain't gonna make anything. Make good chips. And The old Morbark Model 23 flail chip harvester, we're gonna gobble her right up. Ain't even gonna slow down. Oh yeah. Just our spout here. And then we'll answer a question we got the other day. Sound good? And I'll explain it to you. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean just, oh, okay now. Yep. She is just chipping something mighty fine. I got a little bit left in there, and I want to get that throat cleaned up, so come on. Come on, clean her out. There she goes, little bits by little bits. Get her cleaned out. There she goes. You're loaded, you got power. Just like that. Welcome back. We got that load done. We're on the ground, and I had a question. We get lots of questions. And the question was the other day, oh goodness gracious, we were in here working. And when you're in there doing the chains, you gotta obviously sit in here, and the question was, if we sitting in there, how do you not know that someone's going to kick the motor on, kick the engine on while you're inside it? And so I thought I'd explain real quick of how everything kind of works out here, because it's a good question if you don't work out here, but if you work out here, it's like one that you never even think about. So what happened was, I was here working in there. There's 3 guys working out here. We'll start with this. There's 3 of us working out here. I know right now that Gary's cutting. I know that Josh is pulling wood. I just got done greasing the old girl. She's just greased right up, chained up, knived up. It's ready to go. So I know where everybody's at, and I know what's going on. I know what they're both doing. They know what I'm doing. I'm up here working on the chipper, and really we're making a YouTube video. But hey, it is what it is. They'll figure this out because they'll watch it and be like, yep, John's screwing around again. But to answer your questions, I know what they're doing what I'm doing. So when I'm doing chain, there's me and one other guy that's helping me do chain. And Gary was actually putting fuel in the chipper. So that's all 3 of us. Okay. So we know where we're all at and what we're doing. We know we're doing chain. Therefore, I'm not really worried about somebody starting it. Now what Morbark has is they have, and a lot of other companies are doing it, a lot of other companies do it, and whatever have been doing it, is a lockout tag out system where you have a tag on the ignition and you can put a lock on it so that nobody will start it, and then who put the lock on there, then somebody else can put a different lock on there. If they're working on it and it's not ready to go, they can make sure that no one starts it. So we don't use that, and a lot of people think that we're crazy because we don't use that. That being said, nobody starts the chipper, period, unless the person operating it. Okay, so it's not like Josh will drive up here and be like, hey, I'm going to start the chipper up. Josh doesn't have any reason to start the chipper. And Gary doesn't drive up here and say, well, I'm going to start the chipper up. There's no reason to start the chipper. The other day when we were doing chain, and just like today, there's no trucks coming here. The only time that you start the chipper is to load a truck. So when you have trucks here, you load them, you work on it, you load them, you work on it, you go home. That's kind of how this whole thing works. I don't walk over to Gary's machine and say, hey, I'm going to fire this buncher up, the old LX 822 or whatever. I'm going to fire this girl up. No, I don't start his machine. That's Gary's machine. Josh is scared today. I got here earlier than them and I went skidding and I jumped in the other 535, not the one, not Josh's, just because I don't like to mess with somebody else's thing. Everyone's got it set up the way they like it and like to keep it that way. But never once, I've been here pushing 12 years or something, I'm not sure, somewhere in that area, has anyone ever got hurt starting another piece of equipment. And never once have I ever seen anybody fire up a machine when somebody's working on it, when they don't know what's going on. So I had mentioned it to somebody the other day, and they kind of laughed because they've never heard of it either. Because when you're doing this kind of stuff, you just know where everybody's at and what everyone's doing. I know, how Josh is going to pull wood to me. I know when I'm pulling wood to Gary how he's going to slash it, just because we've been working around each other for some time. And when you run a piece of equipment, you know exactly what the other person's going to do. So that's kind of how it works. But as far as somebody starting this while we're inside, what they would have to do is they would have to start the chipper up, which would have to start the small engine here. And once I heard somebody trying to do that, I would come running out of here. And then nothing would happen because they have to engage the clutch, which you have to go from the front to the middle of the machine, climb up there and engage the clutch while I'm still in there. So there's a lapse of time there where you could save yourself. So, but it just goes back to the fact that I have never ever had any problem with that. And if we did have somebody, I mean, we all understand that if somebody was inside here and somebody did start it, there would be some chewing going on. And because it's never ever happened before. Everybody knows what everyone's doing out here, so it's probably a question from somebody that might not be familiar with it, which is totally cool because now we're explaining it. But no, it never once has it happened. The one thing funny that did happen is this. We're pushing like 11 years ago, let's say. I mean, it was right towards the beginning of when I started working here. I'm helping a guy named Randall work doing chain, and I'm standing out here, and a trucker pulls in. We were doing chain in the middle of the day. Trucker pulls in, backs up the chipper, and Randall's inside of here working, and they back up and they run into the chipper. And if you knew Randall, he was one of them guys. His fuse was about that big. I mean, you're lighting it. He's fired right up right now, and his face got red, and he come running out of this thing. And he starts screaming at the truck driver, "Don't you ever back up to the chipper without me inside that cab. I'm sitting inside that thing," and then it bangs because it's really echoing here. There's a bad echo. Whenever you're inside of this doing chain and a skidder drives by, it is kind of hard on your ears because it's echoing inside there and it sounds like 5 times louder than it actually is. So when the trucker backed up, he smacked into it, and old Rand Dazzler was fired right up. But it was pretty. Looking back now, it's really comical. At the time, I just started here, and let me just the first week of me working here, Randall was throwing tools. I mean, multiple tools, and screaming and yelling out in the middle of we had snow like 2 foot deep, and there's tools flying everywhere. They're probably still out there somewhere. I'm sure they are, but Randall had a short fuse. So that was as close as we ever came with an incident of doing chain. But that's just how it works. Nobody has ever walked up to the chipper and just decided, "I'm going to fire this thing up." Because kind of people are kind of run certain pieces of equipment, and you don't mess around with any of that. It's really something that's not even mentioned. It's just a fact that we all live by, that we don't even know that we even have the rule. It's just one of them deals where it's just life. You know what I mean? It's just work. We don't mess with other people's stuff. It's just a guy thing, I guess. And I'm sure that it's a women thing too. I mean, it's probably not just. That's probably unfair to say it's a guy thing because I'm sure women are like that too. We don't have any women operators right now. We have had women operators before. I work with one, so everybody does their own thing. But yeah, nobody starts the chipper up, even when like. We'll get the conveyor clogged up, and I'll have to get in the cab and turn it on and try to get it unclogged, I check both sides, and I okay with everybody that everybody's clear before I start messing with it, because I don't want anybody getting hurt. So I'm always double checking making sure that everybody's clear. I want to get the all clear sign for both sides of the chipper, because a lot of times you'll have a truck driver maybe helping you, and you'll have a couple woods guys. So I just want to make sure that everybody's clear. I'm not hitting that button until I can see everybody's clear. So safety is very important. That was kind of the probably the emphasis of the questions of what do you do? How do you keep that from being safe? And that's how we do it. Nobody messes with anybody else's stuff. So that's how it works. I thought I'd explain it. It's not a real good explanation. And I actually mentioned it, like I said, to somebody else, the question, and they laughed it off because they understood it too. Because it's not even something that's mentioned. You just don't go up and start messing with a piece of equipment and firing it up. And like I said, kicking the clutches in. There's no reason to do it unless the operator running it and the machine's there to do work. So it doesn't even get messed with. So when like now there's no trucks coming back off, this chipper ain't starting again till Monday. It ain't firing up till Monday. So you can go and do it. I just got to, like it's greasing it. You can get inside there and do any work you want. When I'm doing knives, there's nobody there to mess with it because they know John's doing knives, so I'm gonna go do something else. And yeah, no one's ever got hurt like that, but that's the most important thing, is safety. So hopefully that answers your question. Hopefully you guys have an awesome day, and just keep rolling.